Hey everybody! Welcome to our second check-in for the 6th annual short story writing challenge. It is an exciting day. I believe Becca's trying to get in the room, so hopefully she will be on momentarily. But we are going to be revealing the cover for the trophy anthology today. We're going to be touching on a couple small details, and then we will let you guys go and wrap up your stories. And of course, we are happy to answer questions that you may have. If you missed last week's check-in, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you guys in the chat right here. So last week, we went over in detail what counts as an environmental change. So we are not going to be answering does it count environmental change questions today. If you don't find the answers you're looking for in that last check-in, please hit the little help bubble in the bottom right corner of the AutoCrit site, or if you're a pro member, take advantage of the pro member forum post that says does it count, and we'll be happy to help there. But for the sake of time today, we are going to be focusing more on wrapping this up, making sure that our pacing is good for our challenge stories, and then of course talking about what you guys can expect for the next steps. So if you are here for the first time, welcome. My name's Catherine. I'm a member of the AutoCrit editing team. And as I said, Becca is going to be on as well, probably here in a couple minutes, but Becca is also making appearances on these lives. If you would like to participate in this challenge, there's only a few days left to get your story done, but if you like a good thrill, you're definitely welcome to try. Otherwise, we have another summer challenge starting up, our Novel 90 Summer Writing Challenge. AutoCrit's writing challenges are 100% free to join, no twists. I have been here for over 6 years and they have never once charged for participation in a challenge. So come join us for Novel 90. I'm going to be coaching Team Pantser. The goal of Novel 90 is to write, edit, and have a completed novella. Of course, if you want to go and do more than that and do a full-length novel, you can. But Becca is coaching Team Plancer, and Kat Campbell is going to be coaching Team Planner, and we're excited to see what you guys come up with. Yes, lots of love for Novel 90. So let's go over. Yes, Kat is taking over Team Planner. Represent, because you guys know, as much as I love my planners and I'm a developmental editor by trade, I am a pantser through and through when it comes to writing. So my pantsers, the people who have no idea what you're going to write until the day one, come over here. We might have cookies on the dark side. Let's do a quick recap of the challenge requirements for people who are here for the first time today, and then we will answer your questions. We do see that they are being dropped in the chat, so please keep them coming. So the theme of this year's short story writing challenge is one single day. So all of your stories, everything that happens on the page needs to take place in one standard day for your characters. If that is an Earth-based book, that is a 24-hour period. If you have a fantasy or a sci-fi world of some kind, then you can have whatever their average day would be, but it needs to be just a day in the life. The only other requirement that we have for this challenge is that your stories include an environmental change, and there is a full list of what counts as environmental changes on the AutoCrit dashboard. So I will show you guys where to find that list. That way you don't have to worry too much about it. Skim down the list. If it's not there, then maybe want to adjust just a little bit. But those are going to be the primary ones we are going off of. All right, here we go. Hopefully we can get it sharing. All right, you guys can see my AutoCrit screen. Great. So this is the AutoCrit Hub. This is where we come update little events that are happening and free classes and polls and stuff like that. Everybody who registered for the challenge received a free AutoCrit account that has unlocked tools that you have to have. If it is required for the challenge, it is free to use during the challenge. There's also some add-ons for pros. If you use pro members, of course, then you can use that pro member forums that I talked about. But everything you need to know for the challenge is right here in the middle of the dashboard in this little TV looking post that says 6th Annual AutoCrit Short Story Challenge Requirements. Please click there. and you will see the typed out list of everything that we're going over on our screen today. So the challenge dates are listed here. The submission times are on here. The prizes are on here. And then, of course, that list of environmental changes, which is quite long, is all on here as well. So here is the link to that for anybody who needs it. But there is that one typed up place. There we go. So that you can have everything on your list. All right. So important dates to remember. May 6th through May 27th, 2025 is the challenge. The challenge officially opens for submissions on the 23rd. That is this Friday at 11:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here live on YouTube. The video is already up. So you can go like the channel, hit the little bell, hit subscribe, and that way you get notified when that video goes live. At noon Eastern Time on the 23rd, I will be coming back to walk you through how to submit for the challenge step by step. You do need to pay very close attention to the step-by-step instructions, so that is going to be the place to get them. We will not be emailing out those instructions. We will be sending the link to the YouTube video out, so go ahead and bookmark it while you are here on the YouTube channel. Let's see. The challenge officially closes on the 27th. Hey, Becca, we were just talking about how the challenge is closing on the 27th.
Yes. Yes, it is. And your submission window will close at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know what time zone you're in, but Eastern Time on the 28th. That is the absolute last time it can be submitted. If you send it to me at 1:01 a.m. on the 29th, it will not be allowed in. This is the submission window.
So we're expanding here. Yep. And of course, this challenge has been going on all month long. We started the very, very beginning of May. So you guys have had the whole month to give us this amazing story. And we are very, very excited. Again, submissions will not open early. Don't go looking for submissions. You have not missed anything. The submissions will not open until 11:59 a.m. on the 23rd. That is Eastern. And we will have the YouTube kickoff at that time. All right. Remember that your story has to be between 2,500 words and 4,501 words to qualify, or you will be disqualified. We don't want to disqualify anybody just for words, you guys. So we will be using the AutoCrit word counter for that. If you're a challenge participant, that should be unlocked in your account. So make sure you have registered for the challenge in order to see your AutoCrit word count.
And as we discussed last week, if due to the content of your story, you deem, we don't require this, but you deem that you would like to put a trigger warning on it for some sort of, I don't know, violent or explicit content, the trigger warning words do not count towards your word count.
Exactly.
So that's up to you. If you want to put it on there, we have people that will read all of the content, all different kinds of content on our judging panel. And obviously our judges are people, and they will pass on to the correct category judge if it is something that is not content that they read. So
yeah,
your adults, trigger warning or not, it's up to you.
So this is what your AutoCrit page looks like. This is where your story should be. If you have not written it here, go ahead and get a little bit ahead of the game by bringing it in here. Again, you got a free version of the site in order to use this for the challenge. So the title should not be typed here. Instead, it should be in the top left corner where you can double click and type in your title. If you bring your file in from outside of AutoCrit and the file has the title should autofill up there in the top left. Don't put your name in here either. We'll remind everybody of this in the submission instructions. So we do not want to see your title there. We do not want to see your name there because this is a blind judging. So there's a spot for your title that won't count it toward your words up in the top left. And then, of course, your name. So the first thing, if you are going to include them, would be trigger warnings. Other than that, dive in. We said last week that we're not going to get too technical about how you guys format, as long as it's a standard English font, standard English size, 11, 12, somewhere in there, we're fine. We are not going to disqualify anybody for having, UK versus US versus Canada versus African English style. It does have to be written in a form of English, but our team of judges is international and we have a wide variety of experience. So if you've written your story for UK English audiences and it has UK slang, that's fine. You're good. All right. There are no genre requirements for the piece. It can be creative nonfiction. I believe we said it has to have a narrator, but that's the extent of that. And I already showed them while you were joining, Becca, where to get that list of environmental changes off of the hub. So go grab that. And again, if you've joined us late, we're not going to be taking QA today about what counts. Go watch last week's live, and then if you still have questions, feel free to reach back out to us. But for the sake of time, we have a cover reveal to do today. And that cover reveal is going to be for our main prize. So we've got some reminders here. Our main prize is a trophy anthology, and Becca, the cover is so pretty, and I really wish we had our drum roll sound.
I know. And I don't have the ability to I have pens. I can go like
I love it. Okay.
That's all I have for you.
And we present to you the beautiful cover. Here, I'm going to make it bigger so you guys can see it. Ta-da! This is the trophy anthology cover. So if you're joining for the first time, this is going to be the cover on the printed trophy anthology that we are sending out to the winners of the challenge, right, Becca?
Yep.
This is only a trophy anthology. Winners are not being published. And because they're not being published, you will not be able to purchase or download or get this anthology unless you are one of the winners whose stories are printed in this anthology. The good thing about not being published is that you can retain the rights to all your works. You can go and publish it somewhere else. Nobody's going to see your story unless you choose to share it on a place like our pro member forums in the Share My Work thread that goes up.
Yes, so that is so important for, because I know we have had multiple people who have participated in our short story challenge that have gone on to enter their short stories over the years into contests. Now, one of the rules of most contests is that it has to be unpublished work. So this allows you to still be in compliance with that and still have something pretty for your shelf.
Yeah.
And if you and you can always, I see we have a comment that if I win, I'm going to share it. Yeah. You can always share your story in our community. We will have a thread. You can share it on your website. What you do with your story is up to you. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the.
And we have a question. Who is the cover designer, Becca?
Huh?
It says, who is the cover designer, Becca?
Hi.
Becca, take a bow. I feel like this is the Senna moment in Hunger Games. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. No, you cannot submit your story in PDF. You have to submit it through AutoCrit's Writer's Desk. So you'll have to actually either copy and paste your content over, or you can upload an unformatted docx, .rtf, or .txt file. Yep. We do ask, it would just make it easier for us if you do not have formatting in your file. Not only does it flow better in the AutoCrit system, but we have to format the winning stories for this print anthology. And in order to make sure everything's consistent, that means if you have formatted things, we're going to have to take all of that out. That is a lot of extra time. So be kind to us. Send us your unformatted stories, and then we will make sure that it's formatted in a way that looks nice for your trophy anthology if it's chosen as the winner. We got a couple good questions, and along those veins is no, because we are printing the winning stories, you will not be able to have images in your file. So please do not include images. We love your images. You're welcome to share it in the pro member forums. Send it to our Facebook group or something like that. Let us know in the chat bubble, but it can't be in the actual story you submit. The anthology will be a printed anthology. We are not sending out file formats. So if you are in the winning circle, you will receive a print copy in the mail.
Yep. And yes, of course, you can always write the story directly into the writer's desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, J.A.
I write a lot of my work in AutoCrit's writer's desk because I use our dictation feature for gosh, I'm up to like 75% of my words lately have been dictation. I don't know about you, Catherine, but I am like it's the busy season. If you know, if you have kids and you are ending the school year soon, summer is no longer the relaxing summer of the youth. Summer is running from point A to point B for 3 months and going, why is it so hot? So thank God we have AC now. So I use dictation inside of our writer's desk. I use our speech to text tool, and that's where I write 75% of my words every month. So yeah.
Yeah. So getting some questions. So we are definitely open to taking some questions today. If they are not, does this count as my environmental change since we spent so much time on that last week? One of the ones we got is about what POV, and we touched a little bit on this before, but as long as there is a narrator telling the story, we don't care what POV you use. You can use first person, second person, third person. Second person, you have to be really careful. It's hard to get that done well, but if you have it in you and you want to try, definitely give it a try.
I saw a question from Eric. Am I a graphic designer? No. No, I'm not. I've just done a lot of these. And I very rarely do my own. But every now and then I will play, and I do all of my own reader magnet ones. But as my cover artist will tell you for my series, it's very much better for everyone involved if I stay away from the Photoshop file.
Mm-hmm. And Becca, we got a good question, and we've seen this a little bit in the chat too. If you have a story where the environmental change isn't going to end in the 24-hour period, can you do a skip to 2 weeks later and then show that at the end?
Yeah, I don't see why not. But like the actual story, the bulk of your story is one single day.
Yeah. And you can honestly hint at how things are going to end without needing to waste words with X number of weeks later, right? For example, there's a massive storm, it floods a lot of places. We know that they're not going to necessarily get out within 24 hours, but we see them up on the roof looking out at the helicopters floating by and going, we survived and everything else is downhill from here. And that leaves a happy sort of resolution to their story without us needing to necessarily see them get plucked off the roof by the helicopter a day or 2 days later.
I think it's important to, depending on what environmental change you chose, it's very clear that the environmental change is not going to last for 24, necessarily can be resolved in 24 hours. So no, it does not have to end, but you need to have a satisfying resolution to your short story. Your short story needs to stand as a story, if that makes sense. So if it, not all stories have happy endings. Not all stories have a clear-cut hang, but it does need to read as if its story itself is encapsulated as an actual short story, not just a snippet from something larger. Does that make sense? Did I explain that correctly? I think short stories have a beginning, middle, and end. They sometimes end ambiguously, so you're left at this kind of existential moment. I've been reading a lot of short stories that leave you with existential questions and angst lately because I don't know. It's 2025. But you need to have a clear ending that makes sense for your story. You can't just cut it off and be like, I'm going to finish this and flesh it out into a regular book sized book later. This isn't the first chapter of a book. You might be able to turn it into a first chapter later, but it needs to have a clear beginning, middle, and end. That is an essential building block for a short story. Second person, I see that second person does really, I don't write in second person. I like to read things every now and then, but there is some, if you just Google second person short stories, there is some absolute brilliance out there on the internet, and people that have shared their work that just thrive in second person. And if you want to take that challenge on, I encourage you to do so if that's something you want. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. But it's pretty brilliant. Um,
Can you tell the story backwards as long as it's all in 24
yeah,
hours? I mean, go for it.
I don't care what order of the day it goes in. Um, yes,
And
and
yes,
Mary, the
so
parameters are listed in the dashboard hub post, and that will be linked in the comments here. So we have all of the, and there's also a long list that I put together of different things that could be environmental changes. One thing I do recommend is if you're like, what about this hyper specific situation? I want you to look at the categories of the environmental change. Does it fit into one of those categories? Is it close? Could it be interpreted as fitting into there? Then likely that will work because we defined what those were. If it's completely off the wall, something different, then you can always message support and ask us. Let's see. So Trinity says we should do a second person contest one day. Ooh, I do have a contest. I do have a challenge spot later this year that needs a thing. I don't know if we could do second person or not. We've never done that before, have we, Catherine?
no.
I think I would struggle, but
I would
that's a
too.
great idea, Trinity. I'm gonna pass it on to the rest of the team and see if we want to do that because that would definitely be the definition of challenge in writing challenge for a lot of people.
Um, doesn't matter if you wrote it in AutoCrit or not. So it doesn't matter if you wrote it in AutoCrit or not. Of course, since you already have free access and you have to put it in there in order to submit it, it makes it easier to go ahead and write it in there. But you can copy and paste in from outside, as we said before. You can upload the file in. We're going to go through those in the step-by-step instructions on Friday. And if you use voice-to-text dictation, the word counter does update based on the words that you use. Now, voice to text dictation is not a free membership or free perk for the challenge because it's not required for the challenge. That is a pro member perk. So if you're a pro member, yes, the word count in the top right corner is still going to be the word count we judge you on.
Oh my goodness. One thing we do have someone said they were going to do they would do it as a choose your own adventure, and that reminds me is that we have a brand new workshop that starts in just a couple weeks. It's actually a choose your own adventure workshop. So if you're serious, you want to learn how to write choose your own adventure, we've got you. And I'm very excited about it. So that is going to be fun.
When are we announcing the winners, Becca?
So we are going to do a reminder on the 27th for submission day, and then the winners will be announced on the 3rd. Now, keep in mind that on the 1st is when we start Novel 90 Summer Edition. So we will have an overlap, the writing challenge for Novel 90, and I hope to see all of you there. This is my intense coach face. I want to see you all in Novel 90. But we will have that overlap going on. So we're going to have Novel 90 kickoff on that Sunday, which is the 1st. And then we are going to have a live stream that will be on Tuesday, and we will announce our winners on the 3rd at the usual time. And then we will also send out an email that has our link to the winners announcement that way. Does that work for? Yes. Team Plancer. Yeah, that's right. I don't have my Team Plancer mug today, but
Team Plancer! Woo-hoo!
Yeah, we're
Come support our emu.
we just Cat's asleep right now because it's 2:55 a.m. in Australia, so she's not here to represent for Team Planner. But we've put together some absolutely amazing things for you guys this summer. It's going to be so much fun, and we're excited. And then again, if you can't do the summer because life happens, we are still doing the fall one. So if you're like, my brain is trained to do writing in November and things of that nature, don't worry, we've got you. We'll start the planning in October. So it'll be October, November, December for the 2nd annual Novel 90 Writing Challenge.
Yeah, and again, those are all 100% free, as we said before. So feel free to write. And the good thing about it being the 90s is you can sort of take this at your own pace. And if you get a day or two behind, you can catch up. you get a day or two ahead, congratulations, you have built-in buffer. You can just sort of achieve what your story needs in those 90 days, which is a lot of fun. We are, for the sake of not having confusion, we're not going to talk about the Novel 90 rules and things in this live, but there
Nope.
is a Novel 90 challenge kickoff video that you can see in the past events on the AutoCrit calendar tab that will talk a little bit about that. So definitely head over there if that's something that you are interested in. All right, so nutshell version, you guys scribble furiously and do please edit your pieces because they are going to be printed in this trophy anthology. We want them to look somewhat professional, right? So take a moment to step away and then come back and read it to yourself. Use your reading backwards if you're like me. Start at the bottom of your book and read up. Look for typos, grammatical errors. Make sure it's polished and pretty, and then send it over. You have from this Friday until early next week. So you don't want to wait till the last minute, but also don't rush. I saw someone give some great advice in the forums today. Making sure that you step away a minute and come back to reread it to catch any glaring errors that you autocorrected basically as you were writing it. Anything else for you?
Nope. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited to read what you guys have been coming up with. I've been definitely answering a lot of questions in support about does this count? Does this count? And man, you guys are creative. You've got some you've it's like trying to stump support with some of these ideas. Amazing. And I have already told multiple people that I am going to need to be pinged when they turn it into a full book because some of this I am just continuously amazed by the creativity of our community and the stuff you guys come up with. So I'm excited for our weekend of reading that happens when we do. It's actually we have so many people in this challenge, Catherine. That's why we actually closed. We didn't give you guys till a Friday. We actually closed submissions on a Wednesday because there's so many of you that it is going to we block out days to go through because we do read every single one. It is a person reading it. And we read all of your words. So we do that. And so,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we are very excited. As Becca said, we do read all of your stories. So it makes for a lot of reading for us. But because we are busy reading all of your stories, we will not be giving out status updates until the winner's announcement. So remember, we're humans. Remember that our judging panel is all busy reading. And this is a blind judging. So we honestly could not tell you where yours is in the procession at any given time. You're going to have to get some popcorn, start planning the Novel 90 Summer Challenge project you want to do, and then tune back in June for the winner.
Yep. So,
all right, everybody. Good luck.
Happy writing.
Bye, everyone.